University.
Hello and welcome to a new edition of Fast Track News. I'm Sydney Simone Tucker. We start this week's show with a story that first broke over homecoming weekend. A 19-year-old woman died after falling from a student apartment building in West Lafayette. According to the Journal and Courier and other media reports, police were called to the Hub Apartments around 3 Saturday morning. They responded to the call and reported that the woman who fell from the 10th floor window died on the scene. The investigation is still underway, but investigators do not suspect foul play was involved, and they haven't identified her yet. If you have trouble finding a parking spot on campus, you're not alone. Fast Track reporter Eric Reynolds takes a look at the issue and what the university says and why students say it's not enough.
We caught up with a student fed up with the parking situation here at Purdue. Veronica Murphy, a senior, commutes daily to campus only a mile and a half away and has to fight for a spot before every class.
My commute, I live off campus about a mile and a half away, so really it only takes me like 10 minutes to get here. So it's kind of silly that I have to leave an hour to an hour and a half sometimes in the morning just to get to my 9 a.m. possibly on time.
A problem only getting worse. In 2016, 52% of students lived in off-campus housing or commuted to the university. That's up to 20,000 students walking, competing for public transportation, and parking spots.
Sometimes it's really frustrating when I'm either late to class because I couldn't find a parking spot, or sometimes I can't even go to class at all if there's no parking spots and it takes me like 20 minutes or so. What's the point? You know, it's almost insulting to the professor to show up that late, and parking is just not a good excuse.
We spoke with Purdue Parking Facilities and were told students living a mile or more from campus can purchase a C parking pass for $100, allowing them to park in a few parking lots surrounding the outside of campus.
And the C parking lots are really sporadically spaced. There's one by CoRec, then there's one here by POW, and one I believe by Lilly, but it's just there's such random points on campus, and 3 parking lots of a small measured size just doesn't seem practical for a school that has 40,000 students. I paid $100 for my C-Pass, which I'm on a college budget, which means week to week I'm sometimes fudging my grocery list to be different because I can't afford that onion or I can't afford this or that and I have to work a certain amount of hours. So $100 is a lot for me, and $100 is a guarantee that I get here an hour early and still get to class 10 minutes late because I still can't find a spot.
This is Eric Reynolds, Fast Track News.
By now, you've probably seen and heard about the scooter craze around campus. They've quickly become popular to rent for a few hours to get around faster. But Fast Track's Sydney Scott looked into why they may potentially cause problems too.
Bikes are becoming a thing of the past with the talk of birds on Purdue's campus. But not the birds with wings. Instead, they are the birds on wheels. A company named Bird, based out of California, dropped off tons of scooters one night here in West Lafayette. But the question from many is, are these scooters even allowed to be here? According to the West Lafayette Economic Developmental Administrative Aide, Julie Zerkoff, they were given no heads up on the drop-off of these scooters here in West Lafayette. The students don't seem to mind the sudden drop-off of scooters, though. Erin Eskew is a student of Purdue University. She is one example of this.
I really like them. They're fun. They're an easy way to get around. Like, if you don't want to find a parking spot for a meeting that's later at night, even though you're able to park there because the time for the passes is open, it's nice to have that that's quick and easy.
But how long will these scooters be able to stay here in West Lafayette? With the talk of violating the Americans with Disability Act, the West Lafayette Police Department took over 30 scooters off the streets. A hashtag on Instagram helps explain why these scooters are such an issue. Zukov mentioned that when these scooters are parked in areas they are not supposed to be, like in the middle of the sidewalk, for example, they are not leaving enough room for a wheelchair to get through, therefore violating the ADA. Students weren't aware of this issue, though. Susie Grill, a student at Purdue University, states that if students were aware of the reason they were pulling these scooters, she thinks that would help solve the issue.
I think even if people knew that was the problem, that would help a lot, because when I heard about it, I just heard they were pulling them. I didn't hear a reason why.
The West Lafayette Department of Development is trying to work with the Bird Company to keep these scooters on campus by working with them in the same way they worked with the Pace bikes on campus. With hopes of keeping the Bird scooters as another mode of transportation here on Purdue's campus, Girl believes that her fellow students would follow the rules of the scooters if that meant keeping them around.
But I think if people knew that was the reason, they would make more of a conscious effort to try not to do that.
We're starting to get a feel of the fall weather today on campus. Our meteorologist, Brianna Shipp, has more on what we can expect from the weather. Brianna?
Hey guys, it's me. I'm outside on the Memorial Mall. As you can see, it's a nice day outside. A little cloudy and overcast, but the sun just happened to break through for a minute. All the students are coming and going between classes. It is currently 75 degrees outside, so it's a nice fall day, perfect day for the end of September. The humidity is 70 and dew point is 65, so it's kind of a little sticky out, but it's manageable for September. The winds are light out of the southeast at 8 miles per hour, so it's not super windy, just enough to kind of blow your hair if you're really standing out here. The radar shows that there is some showers, which is explaining all these clouds. And those showers will be thunderstorms and stuff later tonight.
Coming up next on Fast Track, founder of the Me Too movement comes to campus to talk about the increased awareness surrounding sexual assault.
How much space am I giving up?
Okay, can we get camera 1 on the screen, please?
I love being in the studio. I love having that resource. Being able to just use the facility and really learn hands-on how production happens and just being able to air live.
From commercial video production to journalism, there are many fun and rewarding careers in broadcasting and digital media. And Purdue's Brian Lamb School of Communication can help you prepare for the exciting journey. Hi everybody, I'm Dustin Grove and I teach in mass communication here at Purdue. I focus on the news broadcasting side of things, and I wanted to take a minute to share with you what that looks like. One of our most popular courses is Fast Track News Magazine.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Fast Track, bringing all things Purdue to you.
Here, student producers, hosts, reporters, photographers, and editors put stories together for this weekly 30-minute TV program on everything from hard news to feature stories to sports profiles. This show has been in production for years, and we've won recognition as one of the best student-produced programs in the country. Another course is called Live News Reporting and Production. This is where students get to pitch story ideas in an editorial meeting, then go out and gather their stories on deadline.
This is Purdue Wrestling, and that is Luke Welch.
All in one day for a live evening newscast that airs from our studio in the Digital Media Production Center.
As we go ahead and look at the surface map.
The program also includes a weather segment from students studying Earth and atmospheric science. It's all hands-on learning, and it's as close to the real thing as you'll find. Graduates looking for that first job find it's pretty seamless to be able to transition from here to the real world. To prepare for those upper-level hands-on courses, you'll first take a foundational course called Multi-Platform Journalism. This is where you learn theory behind practice, the reasons why we do what we do and why it's important. But even this class isn't all textbook. The best way to learn is by doing it, shooting, writing, and editing. So, you also get to use our electronic news gathering equipment to go out and put stories together for the first time. There are other courses too, including sports broadcasting and writing for mass media. I or any other faculty member or lecturer would love to chat more with you about our program and our courses. So stop by the office sometime or shoot me an email, and hopefully you can be a part of our story here in MassCom.
Tarana Burke, who coined the phrase Me Too more than a decade before it became a larger movement to call out sexual assault and sexual harassment, started a conversation with Dr. Jennifer Freeman Marshall, Associate Professor of English and Women's Gender Sexuality Studies at Lowe Playhouse and Purdue campus.
The long line of audience in front of Lowe Playhouse attract people's attention. Sponsored by Purdue LGBTQ Center, Black Cultural Center, and Women's Gender and Sexuality Studies, a conversation about a journey of healing happened in Purdue campus last Wednesday.
I have been organizing since I was 14 years old. My life has been centered around social justice work. And I have, for the last probably 15 years, been really focused on women and girls of color. But during that work is when we realized that the girls that we were working with were encountering sexual violence in various ways. I met a young girl when I was pretty young myself. She was probably 12 or 13. She came to me and shared her history with sexual violence and the things that happened to her. It was the thing that was repeated. I was repeating in my head as she was telling her story, like, me too. Yeah, I know what this feels like. The magnitude of what she was saying was so similar to my life. I was just scared. I was 22. I didn't know. I ended up sending her to another counselor who I thought could handle what she had to say better and who would get her some services and figure out how to get her out the home or whatever, but I didn't tell her anything. And I have, over the years, written her letters in my mind, like I don't know where to send them, but just apologizing, because it just feels like the worst thing you can do as somebody who's committed to young people. My partner and I decided we have to take a step back and figure out what to do. Like, we were both survivors. So Me Too came from this idea that we have to do this groundwork first.
Christine Charles, a Purdue senior studying soil and water science, said she respects celebrities who are change makers and inspiration to people around us, but the meaning behind those hashtags to her friend really hit home.
People I know and people I went to school with felt inspired and comfortable after that, really made me respect what these celebrities are doing, and that resentment didn't really last long. It was just kind of I guess this is a thing that celebrities are doing, but when it became a very human thing from my friends, it was really hit home. And I think that there were also like friends that I know who like didn't post, and like I had like a phone call like when she went into the detail of like the stories behind posting. I had my friend called me, you know, and we like had a conversation about it, and like there's a lot of crying involved, and she didn't end up posting anything because she just couldn't. You know what I mean? Like it became really real.
In 2017, Me Too hashtag went viral on the internet and brought in the vital conversation of sexual violence and sexual harassment into a national and international dialogue.
Thousands of women are using 2 words on social media to identify themselves as survivors of sexual harassment and assault today.
It happened to me too.
Me too.
It happened to me too.
Professor Felicia Roberts, Brian Lamb School of Communication, said she thinks Berg did a wonderful job mentioning sexual violence is not only a problem to celebrity, but it also happens to everyday people.
Here you have, a woman who's just like everybody else. She's just a regular person like we all are. I don't know how you felt when you were listening to her, but I know I felt, and the friend that I was sitting with, she, we both said, wow, she just seems like a person you could just sit and talk to in your own living room. And so I think that, I think it's great that she had that kind of courage to first, address her own problem, and then to help people, address theirs as well, just in a really everyday way. Yeah.
For Fast Track, Xiaohan Lu and Ding Dan Ho.
Every week, farmers and producers are selling a variety of goods grown or made here in Indiana. West Lafayette residents can enjoy locally grown fruits, vegetables, crafts, and more at the West Lafayette Farmers Market. Yahara Martinez shows us what is that keeps bringing vendors and customers out each week.
On Wednesdays, residents from West Lafayette looking to buy from and support local producers come out to the farmers market, where they can find a variety of products not easily found at the grocery store.
It got started in 2005 as our first year, and it's been going every year since then.
It's my 5th season with the market, and we have about 40 vendors, roughly speaking. Grapes and produce, prepared food, wearables, clothing, tie-dye stuff, and all kinds of things.
Market Master Paul Foster says the market is a great way for the community to come out and support the local economy and local businesses.
Certainly benefits the local economy, not having to buy from something that is made in China or even far away. And something that's locally made supports also the creative side of what's going on. Our rule is it needs to be locally grown or locally made within a radius of about 100 miles. So that's pretty local.
But for the vendors, it's more than just the money. Through the years of participating at the farmers market, they've been able to form friendships with many of their customers.
At the end of the day, I do it because it's the money I make here makes the trip in the afternoon worth it. Certainly I enjoy, I've made good friendships here, I think, almost friendships anyway. I have my customers that come and seek out specific varieties from
all the people. I love seeing the people. I really enjoy the Thursday market with all the students, and I know a lot of people because I live in West Lafayette here, so I get to meet new people down there.
Reporting for Fast Track, I'm Yahaira Martinez.
When we come back, Brianna has our extended forecast for the week.
That's right. It's very fall outside.
Night falls across the moor. A creature lurks in shadow. Through veils of fog, its howling roar rumbles through your window. The foul beast bears foul fangs and pounces for a bite. It disappears through shattered panes and leaves a grisly sight. Alerts on speaker, alerts on screen. Behold the transformation. Where once before stood pure machines, now stands contamination. They sniff, they snarl, they snort aloud. They spy upon the movements of an unsuspecting online crowd. Beware these malware mutants. The doctor scans for viral forces, detecting worms and Trojan horses. They try all manner of healing courses. The gypsy's relics, the father's blessing, a silver bullet, some garlic dressing. They keep guessing and guessing and guessing, until at last, in no time flat,
get me the antivirus stat!
The serum quickly breaks the fever.
That ought to do it. Now throw the lever.
And all goes still, and all goes silent. May they rest in peace instead of violence. Protect your gadgets from evil malware. Download antivirus software.
Purdue Extension Health and Human Sciences provides education to people of all ages in Indiana's 92 counties.
The community is our classroom, where we bring university information to the local level
and help people strengthen families, spend smart, eat right, and to live well.
Tell me how HHS can help you.
Tell me how HHS can help you.
Tell me how HHS can help you.
Hey everyone, I'm here with the forecast. If you can look outside, it is a nice, beautiful day. Not really, it's very cloudy, unfortunately. I am sorry, but hey, we have a nice weather looking for the weekend. My clicker's not working. Oh, there we go. Okay. So if you look, here is the reason why it is so cloudy. It is raining, unfortunately, in Ohio, and all that low pressure system is bringing in our clouds, making it for a very dreary day. But temperatures are nice. It is 75 degrees with a wind out of the southeast at 8 miles an hour. Humidity is at 70%. If you want to look at our temperature map over here, we are in the 70s, but up north in Montana, it is colder in the 50s. That will be moving our way shortly. Today's forecast is for a high of 75, low of 67 with PM thunderstorms possible with that forecast. Tomorrow Tuesday rather, It's going to be a high of 79, and the rest of the week is going to be sunny and nice. Stay right there. We'll be back with Fast Track after these commercials.
So the Brian Lamb School of Communication has a long tradition as a department of communication originally, so well over 100-year tradition.
There has been communication here in the teaching of speech and organizational communication and other things for decades.
We have a very vibrant, I think, curriculum for our students in 5 different areas of communication.
It's everything from human relations and communication about relationships to public relations to communication within organizations to video production.
I think we attract really a variety of students who are interested in learning about communication skills, but then also being able to use those skills in a variety of settings.
Students have a lot of chances to get real, practical, applied experience, hands-on learning.
The classes that I've taken have definitely helped me grow in the career that I want, and I could not imagine taking any of these classes anywhere else.
I think a great part of our curriculum is when we have alumni who come back to classes and talk to students.
The networking is incredible through this program. We're all over the nation and even all over the world. I've actually had an internship where a Purdue grad was working there full time, and it was at Warner Brothers Studios.
I think when people hear about Purdue University, their first thoughts are probably engineering and astronauts. I'd like for students who aren't necessarily interested in being astronauts or engineers to also think about Purdue, but in terms of the Brian Lamb School of Communication.
Also very excited to see what my future holds because of Purdue, and I know I'm fully prepared because of the Brian Lamb School.
Researchers here at Purdue have come up with a unique approach that lets experienced surgeons help less experienced doctors in war zones and rural areas around the world. Fast Track's Mike Folta shows us how the technology can save lives when seconds count.
In this sleepy corner of campus, Purdue students work every day to save lives.
So my name is Edgar Rojas, and I'm a PhD student of industrial engineering, and I am a member of the Intelligent Systems and Assistive Technologies Laboratory. And we're working here in this project called STAR, which is the system for telementoring with augmented reality.
This STAR program is an augmented reality system that will help surgeons at home guide medics through assisting patients in the field with major trauma. Patients like Frankie, a $50,000 test dummy that has seen better days. That being said, Frankie is in the exact condition that Munoz expects soldiers to be in when this technology is deployed.
Basically, the idea of the project is that we want to be able to transfer surgical expertise remotely. So whenever a surgeon in an austere location like a battlefield needs assistance throughout the procedure, he or she can connect remotely to a surgeon that can guide him or her throughout the procedure using our augmented reality device.
Munoz explains that the headgear, or HoloLens, uses 2 cameras to create a 3D rendering of the environment around the patient.
Once I have this stable view, I can very easily, with just simple touch controls, create surgical annotations. For example, if I want the person to create a line, I can just very easily draw a line here and then send an icon of a scalpel, for example. And the good thing is that whatever I annotate here as 2D images are going to be seen as 3D objects through the head-mounted display. So, can you trace the annotation back again? Yep. So as you see, she's tracing where she is looking that line as looked through her headset.
We got to watch as Munoz pretended to operate on Frankie. The image on the television screen is what Munoz can see through the HoloLens, and what a surgeon would see if a medic were attending a soldier on the battlefield. But Edgar Munoz thinks that this technology can have a civilian impact as well.
So this can be applied to any other scenario. I can see this being applied in a manufacturing scenario where someone needs to assemble a robot, and then someone else can guide him or her throughout the process of assembling the robot, for example. This can be used just like an educational tool, instead of having, this can actually transform the way that classes in general are done.
The program isn't ready quite yet, But who knows how many lives this technology could touch in the future? For Fast Track Student News, I'm Mike Folta.
Huge celebration here on campus. Today marks the start of the celebration of 150 years of Giant Leaps here at Purdue University. According to the university's website, the centerpiece of Purdue's Giant Leaps campaign will be an ideas festival that connects world-renowned speakers and Purdue expertise in a conversation on the most critical problems and opportunities facing our world. Discussions and events aligned with the 4 Giant Leaps theme will run from now until homecoming of next year. Well, that's all we have time for today. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to tune in next week for another edition of Fast Track Live. Have a good night.